Today we're going to do a review of the Honda CBR 250R with ABS. This is a bike I've had since July of 2011, and since that time I've ridden this bike for 11,000 miles, so I know it pretty well. I've ridden it on the city streets, on the expressway, and in the mountains. I've ridden it everywhere. And I want to tell you about the bike in case this is something you're thinking about getting as a first bike, and it's a great first bike. Since I've owned the bike, it's been extremely dependable. I've had every service done, 600 miles and 4,000 miles since. And I had it serviced this week, and at 11,000 miles, the first thing that's needed to really be done to the bike is that the chain's worn out, and it needs to be replaced, and also the front and back sprocket. So that'll be kind of the first routine maintenance item beyond oil changes that the bike needs. And so that'll be done soon. So if you're getting that kind of mileage, getting close to those miles on your bike, you're about due for a chain. Be looking at it, and that's a little early. So that's the mechanic was a little surprised that we needed to do a chain replacement already. And what it caused, if this happens to you, is we're gonna let this car pass. What it caused was a feeling of hesitation in the bike, and I thought it might be the chain, but I also thought maybe it's the transmission, maybe it's a fueling problem. Thank goodness it wasn't. This is a very dependable bike, so that wasn't the case. It's a worn out chain. The other thing I've done since I bought the bike, as you know if you've been watching my website, is I replaced the stock tires at 7,000 miles and replaced them with the Pirelli Diablo 2 tire. And this is a 140/70/17 size tire. And when I replaced it, one of the concerns after I did it that I mentioned in the video was that this is a really soft tire. And the concern was how long would it last. And the minimum estimate was 3,000 miles. And I'm 4,000 miles in, and the tire would definitely go for another 1,000 miles. But it is beginning to flatten, and so I've ordered a replacement tire. So I'll ride this tire for another 500 miles, so let's call it 4,500 miles on this tire. Not bad for a bike tire. They're all going to flatten out in the middle. This one's got a flat spot. I prefer the tire to be nice and rounded. I don't like riding on the flat spot, so we're going to replace the tire. But we're going to keep the front tire. The front tire is still good. I got two different opinions on that. One said go ahead and replace the front tire, but the more experienced mechanic I talked to said you can keep the front tire maybe for 2 more back tires. I think it'll be through 1 more back tire. Having ridden the bike for 11,000 miles, what I can tell you about it is that it's just extremely fun to ride. The number one concern about the bike that I get repeatedly on my YouTube channel is, will it run at a fast enough speed on the expressway? Just got a question. Will it go? Is it limited to 55 miles an hour? And the answer to that is absolutely not. This bike will run 70 to 75 miles an hour all day long, and I've taken it a little bit over 80 miles an hour. The rated speed on this bike is 87 to 90 miles an hour. I think that's pushing it a little bit. This is a single-cylinder bike. It's about 23 horsepower. It's a 250cc bike, and it's really just not going to run in the 90 mile an hour zone for very long. I think you're running it pretty hard. But if you're running it at 70 miles an hour and you need more speed to get around a car or whatever, it's still got some power left to take you up to that 80-85 mile an hour mark. So that's not a problem. The greatest benefit really of this bike is that it's extremely balanced and easy to ride if you're a new rider, and it's not too powerful. Even though it looks like it is a sports bike design, you're not leaning very far forward on this bike. You're forward about 15 degrees. Once you get used to that, you feel like you're sitting straight up. And that's where the position you want to be in as a new rider. You want to be well centered, weight a little forward. The one aspect of that you'll have to get used to is if you don't practice not doing it, you'll put weight on your hands. Your hands will get tired. But if you learn to sit in the proper position, sort of use your muscle structure to not rest on the handlebars, it's a comfortable bike. The one thing about the bike is, as well, that I would mention is that it is a day bike. I've ridden it, you know, on overnight trips, and I've ridden it, you know, 300 miles in a day. But, you know, at the end of that, you felt the day. You've done a lot of riding on a relatively light bike. It's a 357-pound bike, and it's relatively light, and that's what makes it fun to ride. But in my mind, it's kind of a day bike. The other thing that I know you know about this bike is it's a 6-speed transmission, and it's a very smooth and just phenomenal transmission. When you're going in the, let's say you're running in the 70 to 75 mile an hour range, you're running the bike at about 8,200 RPMs, and that's well below red line at 10,500 RPMs. So even though it's revving, you're not damaging the engine. And I think that because it's a single cylinder, sometimes people hear that engine revving and it kind of worries them. And I've gotten used to that. And the other thing is, you know, wear earplugs, and then it's just, you know, you're really not focusing in on that revving engine sound, and it's better for your ears in any event. The Honda is a very well, you know, balanced bike at speed. It's counterbalanced, and it's got the Pro Link suspension. So at 70 miles an hour, 75 miles an hour, it's a very stable bike on the expressway. So the technology you get in this bike is a halogen headlight, you get a modern instrument panel, electronic fuel injection, water-cooled engine, and ABS brakes if you opt for that option. And I would recommend the ABS brakes. I think they're a great source of peace of mind for a new rider, and I've enjoyed having the ABS brakes, and for $500 more, it's well worth it. So that's the Honda CBR 250. Thanks for coming to MotoApex.com. Look forward to your next visit. Take care.